coming to the stage. This is a powerhouse, phenomenal young woman who I just met. I guess it's been less than a year. So we just met less than a year ago. But as a speaker and as a presenter, I'm always in that space where I'm meeting other people who are in the same space. And this young lady, when I met her, was just something about her movement she was doing. It was something about her spirit that just kind of even came through everything that she did. And I was like, I need to connect with her in some kind of way. So I want to bring to the stage our next presenter, Miss Tiana Patrice. Welcome, Tiana. Hey,
Hey, how's it going, everybody?
hey, there you go. I can hear you now. You look good. We got you
Can
perfectly
you hear
lined up.
me?
Yep, we hear you just fine. Good stuff. So, welcome. I'm excited to have you here. Tiana is the creator, the visionary of the Fearless Experience. So, we're going to talk about resetting your fearless with her because, and when we're looking at the things that we're facing today and we're looking at 2020, there's a lot of things, a lot of reasons to be afraid. There's a lot of things that we're faced with that we are new, that we haven't experienced. So I wanted to bring on the expert in how to help us to really overcome that fear and be fearless. And what they say, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is the presence of fear and doing it anyway. So I'm excited about what she's going to share with us today. So Tiana, welcome to Reset 2020.
Thank you so much for having me. When I tell you I couldn't sleep last night because I was so excited about hopping on with you, Ryan. Thank you so much for what you're doing. This was so needed to reset our fearless, reset our goals, reset our mind, our vision, our health. This is reset season. So I pray that everybody is ready to be reset. And I just want to thank you for having me on your platform today. I'm ready. I'm excited.
All right, floor is yours. Let's go.
All right. So everybody, let me tell you, I am so excited to be able to be here with you this afternoon, this morning, wherever it is wherever you are watching from, to be able to help you reset your fearless. Now, I'm not sure how you all have heard about fear or what you've learned about fear, what you have grown to really move and know about fear. But I am going to come in today to teach you how to not only shift your mind about what you think about fear, what you've heard about fear, but also begin to reset and do things differently. So who am I? I'm Tiana Patrice from TianaPatrice.com. I am the Fearless Activator. We're going to talk about that. I am on assignment to break up the dry grounds under kingdom leaders, to break up the dry ground, to help you go from barren to breakthrough. I'm a purpose pusher. I am a fear crusher to be able to help you break down the fear, break the fear off of you that's keeping you from doing your divine assignment, that's keeping you from doing the thing that God is calling you to do. So why are you here? Because you're ready to reset. You're ready to do things differently. You are tired of being tired. You are tired of being in the rat race. How many of y'all are tired of being in the rat race of your revenue, right? Like you just feel like you're in the hamster wheel. It feels like your mind is in the hamster wheel. Your health can't get right. Your goals can't get right. Well, a lot of times those things are rooted in fear. And so that's why we're here today. So one of the first things that I did as I was preparing for this time with you all is I went and looked at the definition of reset. Now, reset means to set again or to do things differently. When I tell y'all I felt that in my shana now, okay? It is time to reset in your business, to reset in your career, to reset this month, to reset this year, to do things differently, to set it in motion again. When we look at the definition reset, it meant to set again. Now, I need somebody to catch that in their spirit, to set it in motion again. Many times, the reason that we can't reset is because we are conditioned and we are in covenant with fear. I need somebody to catch
Mm.
that. We're so conditioned to not being able to do things differently because we want to continue to do things the way that they've been done because of our comfort zone. I get it. I understand. I promise you, I've been in that place myself. However, when we talk about resetting, that means that we're going to have to do things differently. We're going to have to take a different mindset into this year. We're going to have to take a different attitude into this year. Y'all, sometimes we're going to have to take different people. That means that in order to reset, to set again, to do things differently, to be able to get the revenue that you desire, to be able to get on the stage that you're looking for, sometimes you're going to have to separate from the people that you've been connected to in your last season. How many of y'all caught that? How many of you connected to familiar, still connected to your comfort zone. Therefore, you feel it impossible to reset. How many of you have had a form of success in your past life, a form of success in your past season? And because you're so conditioned and stuck on that success, you can't receive the overflow because you're afraid to start over. You're afraid to reset.
Mm.
You're afraid to set it in motion again. You're afraid to do things differently. So here's what I want to do. I want to talk to you all about the difference between the emotion of fear, because this is why we get caught up a lot. Now, if you don't know who I am, listen, I can't do anything with bringing in my homie G-O-D. Yeah, you know me. So I have to teach you how to be able to differentiate between the emotion of fear and the spirit of fear. Why is this so important? Because that's why a lot of us get held up. Because when we look at fear, we don't look at it from the two different realms that we live in. So when we talk about the emotion of fear is going to keep us from, jumping out of the plane sometimes. Or if you see that snake and that bug, you may run, right? That's the emotion of fear. It gets your adrenaline pumping. It's that fight or flight that we talk about. But when we talk about the spirit of fear, that is the enemy coming in to stop you from doing the thing that God has called you to do. How do we know that there is a emotion of fear and a spirit of fear? Because in 2 Timothy 1:7, it tells us, for God has not given us the spirit of fear. Exactly. So then we have to come in and say, okay, God, well, why does fear exist? So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to give you some examples of fear and how fear comes in and wreaks havoc on your mind, wreaks havoc on your health, wreaks havoc on your vision. Fear comes in as control. Fear comes in as rejection. Fear comes in to make you feel as if you can't do the thing that you've been called to do. Every time you get so far, then something comes and tells you, listen, you can take 10 steps forward, but then you feel like you're falling 5 steps back. The reason that you never get to that 11th and that 12th and that 13th step is because you have convinced yourself that you're not worthy. You have convinced yourself that you're not enough. You have convinced yourself that you don't deserve to be on the platform. You've convinced yourself that you don't deserve to make the revenue. You convinced yourself that you don't deserve to start the business. Who am I talking to? So when we talk about how do we be able to move through fear, I'm going to quickly give you 3 different ways to be able to move through fear. But again, I have to attach these things to biblical references because I need you to understand that when we talk about the fearless experience and what I've called to do, this is a ministry on the move. And my assignment is to move you beyond the fear that's holding you back because it's the reset season. So when we talk about, I'm going to give you a quick example. So I don't know how many, I work with men and I work with women, but this example that I'm going to give is referring to how fear attacks women, okay? So there's a lot of you on the call that are in entrepreneurship. There are a lot of you on the call that are moving up in your career. So this is how fear attacks women, right? So let's say that Jasmine is getting ready to apply for a position at work. Now, this is going to hit somebody. You're getting ready to apply for a new position at work. You call your friend. She calls her friend and she says, listen, I am getting ready to apply for this position. She looks at all the qualifications and she has 9 out of 10 of those qualifications. This is how fear works with women. She has 9 out of 10 of those qualifications. And she gets excited and says, I'm going to apply for that position tomorrow when I get back to work. Well, what happened is in the midnight hour, the spirit of fear comes in and convinces Jasmine that she isn't qualified because she only had 9 out of 10 of those qualifications instead of 10 out of 10. But the reality is because fear wears a mask. Fear comes in like a thief in the night, right? So the enemy comes in but to kill, steal, and destroy. So what the enemy does, it come in that midnight hour and say, girl, you're not even qualified. You don't even deserve to apply for that position. You're not going to get it. You only got 9 out of 10. But what really has happened is the spirit of fear is coming in and wreak havoc in the area of rejection. Rejection. Because the reality is now she won't apply for that job because she doesn't want to hear the word no. Because when I was 8 years old, this happened to me and it planted a seed. And now I don't like hearing the word no because it makes me feel a certain type of way. And now that seed has rooted, it has grown a harvest. And I'm in my 30s, my 40s, and my 50s, and I'm still living with this fear that was put in my life at 8 years old. So now I'm not going to apply for the position because I'm afraid of rejection, not because I'm not qualified, because I'm more than qualified. Who am I speaking to? So that's how fear comes in. So I want you to take that example. And I want you to begin to think about how fear has come in and pumped you in your purpose. Reset. I want come in and begin to think about how fear has kept you from getting that client. Reset. I want you to come in and think about how fear has kept you from getting on that stage that you were overqualified for. Reset. Fear has no power here. So when we talk about how do we now go through the stages of activating our fearless, of going from barren to breakthrough. See, the reality is a lot of us are producing in barren lands and don't even realize that the land that we're producing in is barren because of God's grace, because of how much our business is needed in the atmosphere, how much our business is needed to be able to break up generational curses. And this is why your business is being attacked so much. This is why your health is being attacked so much. This is why your vision and your mindset is being attacked so much, is because what you are carrying is going to set people free. It's going to set nations free. It's going to produce an overflow of abundance for generations to come, for generations and legacies that you may not even get a chance to see. So when we talk about activating your fearless, the first thing you must do is identify. Y'all write that down. The first thing you must do is identify. Stop taking things personal in your life and business. Reset. Reset your mind. I first got to identify the fear. And this is how fear wreaks havoc. It's because we're moving through life and not understanding that the reason, remember the example I gave, Jasmine wasn't going to apply for the position because, oh, I'm not qualified. But the reality is it was because she was afraid of rejection. So because we won't get honest with ourselves, we're living lives as a lie because we will not identify that fear is the reason why we haven't met the success that we want in our life. So stop taking things personal in your life and business. Reset your mind. Reset your business. Understand that every step that you take, when it comes to you being in alignment with your assignment, you will always be under attack. I need somebody to catch that. Why is this happening to me? Stop crying about it. Why is this happening to me? Because you're in purpose. Why is this happening to my business? Because you're in alignment with your assignment. The attack is supposed to come. It's supposed to come, but it won't prosper. Understand that you are under attack and this is war. This is war for your generation. This is war for your next. This is war for your voice. The reason that many of us lose the war is because we don't identify that we're in it. The reason that fear wins is because we don't understand that we're in covenant with fear. We're so in covenant with fear. We married that thing. We love that thing. We're in bed with that thing, and we are afraid to break up with fear. Reset. The reason many of us lose the war is because we don't realize we're in it. So we fight the wrong way. How many of y'all went to the fist fight with some fruit? You won't go to no fist fight with fruit. You go ready to fight. In our lives. When we talk about identify, you must fight the right way, but many of us are fighting the wrong way. You fight with the word, not with worry, not with doubt. If you know that you're in alignment with your assignment and fear is coming in to convince you that you aren't qualified, that they're better than you, that you don't deserve the 7 figures, you call the devil to be the liar that he is. Fight the right way. So first, identify. Okay, fear, I see you over there trying to confuse me and everything. I see you coming to tell me that I'm not worth it. I see that you're trying to plant the seed that I'm not enough, but I know what thus said the Lord about me. I know that I'm in alignment. I know that I'm a curse breaker. I know that my voice is going to release change. I know that my voice is going to break generational curses. So back up off my tongue. How many of y'all fighting like that? So that's number 1, identify. Next, acknowledge. I need y'all to write that down. Acknowledge. 1 Peter 5:8 tells us, be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, comes in as a roaring lion, walking about seeking for someone to destroy, to devour. That means that the enemy is looking for a business to conquer. That means that fear is coming and looking for a mindset to overtake. That the enemy is looking for a bank account to put in the negative. He's looking for a bank account to destroy. But when you are watchful and you're available, you understand that you're not wrestling against flesh and blood, but against principalities. And see, now I know what to do with that, because the Lord say, all I got to do is fight with the word, to put on the full garment. So you have to first identify, fear, I see you. Okay. Yeah, it's not that I'm not qualified. You're trying to make me feel like I'm scared of rejection because of what happened to me when I was 8. But not only do I see that root, I'm going to go in and I'm going to burn that root. because that's not going to continue to grow in me, because I can't allow that to grow in my children. I can't allow that to grow in my generation. And then the third thing you do is take action. Okay, so Tiana, how do we take action against fear? The first thing I want y'all to know is this: you replace the lie with the truth. Okay? Replace the lie with the truth. So that means I take action with the word. I want y'all to remember, and I know y'all do. You remember when Jesus was in he had for 40 days and 40 nights, right? He is going through this fast. He's in the what was it, the garden, the jungle. He's just in this fast, feasting on the word, though, right? And so right at the end of his fast, I need somebody to catch this because this is good to my soul. Right at the end of his fast, the enemy comes in to tempt him.
Yep.
Some of y'all right now are at the end of your breaking point season. You are at the end of the tunnel. You are getting ready to step into levels and lands of multiplication and breakthrough. Why do you think the enemy is coming to tempt you? Because you got something for him to take. Reset. So when Jesus is fasting for 40 days and 40 nights, and the enemy comes in to tempt him, he replaces the lie with the truth, because now he's been feeding on the word. That's what's wrong. A lot of us been feeding on the world too much and not enough of the word. So of course our businesses are failing. Of course our mindset is broken. Of course we're operating in poverty. Of course our health is jacked up, because we've been feeding too much on the world and not on the word. But yet you want to say that God gave you the business. Come on now. Who am I talking to? The enemy came in and tempted God and tempted Jesus. He said, flee from me, Satan.
Mm-hmm.
Flee from me, Satan. He didn't have to do anything grandiose. Flee from me, Satan, because I hear the lie, but I'm replacing it with the truth. So how do we combat fear with the word? You got to unpluck the seed that the enemy is coming with you at and replace it with the truth. If you know that you are on assignment, you know that you heard from God, you know you're operating in purpose, then why would you accept the lie that you can't prosper? The lie that you can't obtain that stage? The lie that you can't overflow in clients? Whose report are you going to believe? And when we begin taking action, the next thing that y'all got to do, and as I get ready to close this out, I'm so excited. Thank you so much, Ryan, for having me. The next thing you got to do is up your faith. Y'all want to up everything else. You want to up your revenue. You want to up this. You want to get the visuals. You want to get, but then you're mad when everything ain't working. It's because you launched with no faith. So how do I grow my faith? Romans 10 and 17 lets us know that faith comes by hearing, and hearing by the word of God, which is why we have to make sure that we are planning our day around God and not God around our day. God, clean out the wax of the enemy, because I can't hear you. God, I really need to be able to hear you about this strategy for my business. God, clean out, bind up in the name of Jesus. So I need to up my faith. That means, God, in order to up my faith, I need to make my spirit man strong. That means I need to be spending more time with you. And then the third thing, when we talk about taking action on fear, the third thing, y'all, when I tell y'all this right here, y'all may think that it's one of those things that, oh, well, it doesn't matter. It does, because your mind is everything when it comes to your life, your career, your business. You must stay in praise and worship. It says that praise confuses the enemy. And I need you to understand that worship is a state of mind. It's a stature. It's a position. It's a mindset. I'm always in worship. God, I honor you. I give you glory. I know that this client over here acting crazy on this call, but God, I know that what you said, it will all turn around for my good. So you have to make sure that you are consistently in a state of mind of praise and worship, not worry, worship, not doubt, worship, not confusion, worship. Because what you are can literally break nations free. God is priming your nation to be able to hear your voice right now. So you must reset. You got to set it in motion again. You got to be okay with starting over. You got to be okay with doing things differently and moving from barren to breakthrough and activating your fearless. So, Ryan, listen, thank you so much for having me today. I pray I didn't take up too much time.
Oh, no.
But I just had to get that up. That blessed somebody today.
We are good on time, and I feel like I owe the audience an apology because I don't think I properly set them up for and warned them to either buckle in or put on their running shoes, whichever is you know, because I really, should have set them up and let them know, get ready. But and you just proved and showed and explained why it was so important to me to have you as part of this event, because the so many, for one, you're just an awesome presenter, and I love how God uses you, but also just you perfectly meld the business and life with our spiritual walk, and I love that. And a lot of people struggle with trying to combine those two without being too much on one or the other. But I wanted to go back a couple of things that you talked about. You talked about worship confuses the enemy. I've been in church for a while. Certain things you forget, certain things you overlook, and we certain scriptures you take and you interpret them how you want to interpret them. We talk about count it all joy. We talk about all things work together for the good of them who love the Lord. We talk about God won't put more on you than you can bear. And we normally talk about that in a negative. Well, he won't put more pain. He doesn't say what he won't put, but he won't put more success on you than you can bear either. And I really feel like
You
this.
better say it.
I really feel like this time that we're in right now, this reset, this pause, God has given us this moment to kind of say, okay, what are you going to do? So when you talk about the worship confuses the enemy, because I think that a lot of times we look at these things, and while they feel bad, they are negative things, they are painful things that are happening in the world. Um, we still have to worship through those things. So how can we really focus on that and remember to, what are some tips? We'll put it that way. What are some tips for those who love the Lord, but they struggle every day when they look out their window and see what's going on, to really remember to focus and on that worship?
That is such a great question. And thank you so much for presenting that question to me. When I say stay in worship, that is literally what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
I just launched a blog called From Barren to Breakthrough. Everybody, I think, can find it on my personal page. I love making new friends. Just send me a friend request. But in that blog, there's a link, and it gives you access to my YouTube, where you literally can stay and worship with me all day. I go to bed listening to worship. I wake up listening to worship. Now, what I've done is I've conditioned myself to worship in song, right? So that's
Mm-hmm.
one. But then the next thing is with that, I've conditioned myself also to plan my day around God. So I get up in worship. I don't get up on Facebook. I don't get up checking my emails. I get up and I call it my fill up time. So
Mm-hmm.
from 5:30 a.m. to 7 a.m., it's my fill up. What are you filling up with? What are you eating? A lot of us are eating garbage. We're eating so much of the world that it is literally giving the enemy access and gateway to our mind and our businesses. And now that's all we can focus on. There are a lot of things in the world that are going on that's bad, but there are a lot of things that's going on that's great as well. But we also have to understand that we are the solution for a lot of the stuff that's going on bad. But what the enemy wants to do is come in and provoke our mind to just focus on the things that are happening in a way that brings about depression and doubt and confusion and suicidal thoughts and all of this stuff. I bind that up, reset. So what we have to do is first condition you to worship in song. The next thing is get up and create a fill up moment, 5:30 to 7 a.m. Literally, you get up and go, I wonder what Tiana's doing. I'm filling up.
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading my word. I'm studying. The only reason that Jesus was able to combat the enemy in that after that 40-day fast was because he had filled up on the word. The reason that a lot of us are failing in our businesses and our careers and our minds is because we aren't filled up, but yet we're trying to overflow into everybody else. And one of the things that I shared recently on my blog was you have a nation of influencers that are influencing from a place of pain and calling it purpose. Reset.
Mm-hmm.
Reset. So when we talk about praise confuses the enemy, what do you think? What would you think about if you just lost 5 clients, and instead of complaining about it, you begin to celebrate and say, God, I thank you for cleaning it out. I thank you for cleaning out my business because you're getting ready to bring the overflow. That is what it means with praise confuses the enemy, because the opposite should have happened. If you lost 5 clients, what normally happens? Oh Lord, how is this going to work this month? How is this going to get paid this month? Lord, I was depending on that revenue based on my profit plan for the month. Right? So now what the enemy wants is for you to come in and start doubting what God said. But instead, God, I thank you for the overflow of clients. So that must mean you were cleaning out. You were cleaning shop. So that's what it means. So now the enemy is looking at you like, wait a minute. I just tried to take your mortgage payment, but I still thank God anyway. I just tried to take your child out, but Lord, I thank you that I just tried to get your family member over here got COVID, but
Mm.
God, I thank you for the help anyway. Listen, and so when we talk about praise and worship, literally get up every morning and start your day off in the word. It will move your business differently. It will move you differently. It will move your mind differently. And get you a playlist. I stay in worship, y'all. Morning, noon, and night. You literally will hear some type of worship music going on in my car, my phone, whatever. So those definitely are my tips for making sure that you are conditioning yourself positioning yourself and creating a stature of praise and worship.
I was able to check in on some of the comments. You know, we are live, so people are actually chiming in on what is it, YouTube, and I mean you set the room on fire, Tiana. You set it on fire. So I want to make sure you let them know how can they reach you. Give out your website. You mentioned your blog and everything. Go ahead, give out the information. Let people know how they can reach you and follow you as well.
Yes, y'all, July is so awesome because we are getting ready. I'm so, Ryan, we resetting.
Yeah,
For
absolutely.
the last year, I kind of had this transition moment. I mean, if you're following me, you know from divorce, from barren land to this breakthrough place. Listen, TP reloading. I am so just grateful for what God is doing in my life. So resetting myself right now. So listen, TianaPatrice.com, go over right now, just enter your email. You will get access to a 7-day prayer challenge with me. You will get access to barren to breakthrough, which the blog, y'all, listen, when I tell you one of the things that happened this year or this past year was me going through a divorce, and God said exposure before elevation. He said, I'm getting ready to expose some things so that I can elevate you. But a lot of times when we hear something like that, we think the exposure is for the other person. Y'all, it was about me. God wanted to expose some things in me that couldn't go to this next season. So I need y'all to get access to that blog because it's going to bless you. It's blessed. It's blessed hundreds all over the nation already, and it's continuing to grow. So TianaPatrice.com. Just put in your email. We got some great things that are launching on the 27th of July this month that you'll also have access to. So we're excited.
Awesome, awesome, awesome. Tiana, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Such a powerful voice, such a powerful person in the kingdom, and definitely I look forward to working with you again real soon. And thank you. Have any final words, and we'll go ahead and let you go.
Thank you so much, Ryan. Y'all, listen, this is the man to follow. Listen, we're just praying for you, Ryan, and your business, praying that God continues to overflow you in everything that you touch, binding up the hand of the enemy off of your ministry. And we just thank you for who you are and what you're doing and setting fire to all these entrepreneurs and leaders out here. So thank you again for having me, and I pray that y'all have a great day.
Thank you.